Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. If you came here today for a makeup tutorial or a beauty related video, you're not going to get that, and I'm really sorry. I hope you don't mind a little bit of a change up in my style of video. I have been thinking about doing this video for a long time and I just felt like today was the right day. I think you have to be in the right mind frame for these type of videos, and I just really felt like filming it today. So if you watch my channel for a while, you may have seen a vlog I put up, I think it's about a month ago or so. I put up a vlog where I talk about my anxiety and depression story. And the response that I got on that video was overwhelming. I had hundreds of comments from you guys being supportive and sharing your stories. And I did get quite a few comments from people asking, how I cope. And I just want to put it out there that, I'm feeling much better now. I am, very happy in my life and I'm doing so much better. So anyone who was concerned about me, thank you so much, but I'm doing so much better now. But I wanted to make this video not about me, but more about happiness in general and how you can become happier in your life. And as somebody who struggles with depression and anxiety, I have to actively try to be happy every single day of my life. And along the way, through research and trial and error, I have kind of come up with tips and tricks on how I stay happy and how I can be positive and motivated and just happy in my life. And I want to say before I move on that if you are suffering from severe depression and you feel like no amount of tips or tricks could help you, you need to go and speak to somebody. You need to speak to a trusted friend, or if you're very young, an adult or a parent, and you need to go and see your GP. And when I say see your GP, I don't mean so that they can just throw you on medication. A good doctor will help you form a plan to move forward and get better. And that might involve therapy, whether it's cognitive behavioral therapy, or whether it's counseling or just medication or whatever. But if you are somebody who is just struggling on a day-to-day basis and you are kind of like, I'm just feeling a bit negative lately and I really need some help to try and help me to be more positive and just to see the bright side of life, this video would definitely be for you. I'm just sharing what I think about happiness and how to achieve that in life and what I've learned over the 26 years of my life. I am in no way saying that my life is perfect or that I have the secret key to happiness, or that, I'm preaching to you guys about how to live your life more like me. That is not my intention at all. These are just generalized tips and tricks. So you'd probably be best to grab a cup of tea at this stage. It'll probably be a long rambly video. But if you go and grab your tea now, press pause and grab your cup of tea, we will move on to the actual tips on how to be happy. So the number one tip that I have learned myself over the last few years. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at the notes on my phone because I've really been thinking about this video for a long time. So the number one tip is to be mindful, awake and aware. And the best way I can describe that is that in times in my life when I've been really stressed and anxious, whether it's at my desk at work or whether it's in school, I find myself sitting at my desk or doing whatever, but I'm living out scenarios in my head. I am stressing about things that aren't even happening. I'm reliving conversations I've had with people. I'm just going over everything again and again in my head. And to be mindful and awake and aware is to realize that whatever's going on in your head isn't actually happening around you. You're not living in the moment and living in the now. So if you snap yourself out of it and you shake it off and wake up and realize that you're just sitting at your desk. You are just here. You should step out of your mind and actually look at what's going on around you and realize that the stress that you're causing in your head isn't happening in this moment. Some of the examples I have of being mindful and awake and aware are very, very simple ones, and they kind of just get across the point of what I mean. So the first one I have is when you're getting ready in the morning, when you're showering. I think a lot of us tend to kind of go over the day in our head, or you're brushing your teeth and you might be stressing about something that you know is coming up that day. But to be mindful is to actually, when you get in the shower, to enjoy the feel of the water on you, to smell the scent of your shampoo, and to not live inside your head. Be there in the shower, experiencing your shower. Put on some music, sing in the shower, be aware and present in that moment. Because if you're already living out a stressful day in your head that hasn't even happened yet, how can you expect yourself to be happy? How can you expect yourself to calm down and relax? You're really torturing yourself. So just stop it. Allow yourself 10 minutes to enjoy your shower or enjoy your breakfast or whatever it is you're doing. Don't stress yourself out before something has even happened. My point there is to really just get out of your head and really noticing what is happening around you. And when you do that, you really do realize that life isn't quite as bad as it seems. The next thing is to be grateful. And I know you've probably heard this so many times, but it really is such an important factor in happiness, because so many people, look at other people's lives, especially in the YouTube world and the Instagram world. Oh my God, I've had days where I've looked at somebody else's YouTube life or their Instagram life, and I've thought, I just wish I could have something that they have, without actually realizing how much I have in my life. And there are actually probably things in my life that they wish they had as well. The things that you have, somebody else is wishing for. Whether that is the fact that you're on an iPhone actually looking at Instagram, whether that is that you have a loving boyfriend or family, or that your parents are alive, or simply because you have a roof over your head. So just don't compare your life to somebody else's Hollywood reel. That's what I like to call it. When you see somebody's Facebook life or their Instagram life or their YouTube life, it's really just a Hollywood reel. They're showing you the best bits of themselves. So don't compare yourself to that. Be grateful for what you have. I know that in all of the ways that I struggle with depression and anxiety and kind of mental things, my life is actually pretty easy. I have a really good life. I have so much support and love around me that a lot of the things I experience, it's all mental. I actually have a very, very good life. So when I can focus on that and realize that things aren't as bad as they seem, life looks a lot brighter. And it does sometimes take a lot of work to focus on these things and to get myself in that positive headspace. But when I do, I just kind of feel like, wow, the world isn't really that bad. I could be a starving child out in some, poor country, but I'm here and I have camera equipment and a lovely boyfriend and a nice house and a cat and nice clothes and a makeup collection. Like, what have I to worry about? Nothing. So I just need to relax and stop worrying. So the next point that I have is about how you react to things. And I know when a really stressful situation happens and it's takes a toll on you, it's very hard to not get upset and to not get angry or to not stress or panic or worry. But a lot of the time, it's about how you react to the situation. A lot of people in life have the same worries and stresses, and you'd be surprised to know how many people around you think are perfectly happy that worry about the exact same things as you do. But maybe they don't let it get to them. We all worry about money. We all worry about having a good life and protecting the people we love and all of that kind of thing. But the most important thing to realize is that when something bad happens, whether it's, you crash your car and all of a sudden you have a huge financial burden, or whether it's something like, I don't know, like you fall out with a friend or something, the most important thing is how you react to the situation. So instead of saying, oh my God, I crashed my car, I cannot believe it, like life is crap, oh my God, I have all of these repayments, you should look at the situation and be like, I'm so lucky I didn't get hurt in that crash. And it's all about just flipping your emotions. Instead of taking everything negatively and reacting negatively to every situation, that you really just see the best in every situation. And no matter how dark the day, no matter how bad the problem, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there is a way to put a positive spin on it. I can assure you, even if it's very minuscule. Honestly, try it. If you find yourself waking up one morning and your day is going really, really badly and everything is just really getting to you and you're super tired, just take a minute to turn around and go, how can I flip this situation to make myself feel positive? Doing that has given me such a better outlook on life, and I think that is also very related to gratitude as well. Be grateful for what's not happening to you when other things are happening to you. The next point I have written down is to let go of anger and to forgive yourself. If you're worried or stressed or you've made a mistake in life, it is so easy to spend the rest of your life beating yourself up. Or if you fall out with somebody in life, it is so easy to spend the rest of your life angry with that person. But anger is a very strange thing. When we are angry with somebody else, it's not really hurting them, it's only hurting us. And I heard a very interesting quote, I guess you could call it, a long time ago. And it said, being angry or hating someone is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. But actually, it's only you who gets hurt. And that is so true. You can spend your life being angry at things in the past that you cannot change. Or you can forgive people and forgive yourself and move on. Because every day you spend angry with yourself or angry with another person is just a day wasted feeling unhappy. You need to let go. You need to move on and allow yourself to be happy. You need to make the choice to move on past those anger issues. You can move on and still deal with them, but don't live every day in anger. The next point I have is pretty simple, but it's just get outside. Leave your phone behind. Breathe and just watch the world go by. You need to move your body. You're not supposed to be kept up indoors and looking at the four walls and feeling like the world is this dark and horrible place. You're supposed to get outside. You're supposed to meet people. You're supposed to breathe the fresh air. And I am so bad at this sometimes. If I get into a very, bad mood, or if I'm, feeling a bit depressed, I tend to just want to be at home with my cat. And although that's wonderful, I need to get myself outside. I have to force myself to leave the house. And I remember one day I was feeling particularly bad, and this was at a really bad time during my depression. But something came over me and I just made myself put on my gym clothes and go outside. I live on Bondi Beach, and you would think I would want to get outside more living on Bondi Beach, but when you're feeling bad, you don't really care where you are. But I got outside this day and I walked down to the beach, and there's like a grassy area in front of the beach. And I just decided to sit down there, turn off kind of notifications on my phone, and just put my headphones in and listen to music. And while I was sitting there, I just decided to watch the surfers for a while. And I was really enjoying seeing them like do their tricks and then like fall off the board and like having a great time together. And then I noticed that there was a brand new little husky puppy playing just, down the way from me, playing with its owner, and it was just so adorable and so cute. And then, like, Bondi's a very busy place, so there's a lot of people watching to be done. And then over to my right, I remember seeing this, oh my god, so cute little toddler just playing with its family, and it was falling down on its butt because it couldn't walk properly. And I got back to my house and I felt so much lighter. And I asked myself, I was like, why do I feel so different? And I realized it was because I had gotten out of the house, I had, switched off the computer, I had gotten away from everything, and I had experienced these just really lovely human interactions in life, and I just realized the world wasn't such a bad place, I guess. And I know that sounds cliche and I know it sounds cheesy, but sometimes when you get out of your head and look around you, the world isn't such a bad place, and there are so many beautiful and wonderful things happening around you that sometimes we're ignoring because we're so busy stuck on our phones. So it's really important to get out, move your body, and just breathe. My next point here is one of the most important things in life, I think, and that is to find your art form or a hobby. And, when I came to Australia, I didn't really have many friends or anything, and I found blogging and YouTube, and that became my art form or my hobby. And I also love music. I like to play the guitar. Well, I haven't played in a while. I don't own a guitar at the moment, but that's another thing I like to do, and I like to listen to music. And for me, blogging and YouTube and music, they are my art form, and they are what makes me happy. I don't necessarily have to have a career in those things, but finding your art form, finding your passion, whether that is stamp collecting or soccer or makeup, anything in life, if it's, volunteering at a shelter, whatever it is in life that makes you feel just elated with happiness and creative and like you're achieving something, you need to do that. And no matter what happens, don't let anyone else ever take it away from you. You need to grab your passions by the balls and just own them, because they're the things that will make you happiest in life. And I know that on a bad day, a simple song can lift me up, or just going online and replying to your comments on YouTube. The things I'm passionate about take me out of my darker days. And it's so important to find your passion in life. And if you work hard enough, sometimes you can turn your passion into a job, but not everyone wants to do that. But yeah, the basic point I wanted to get across there is find your passion. No matter how big or small or silly or amazing it seems to be, just find it and just run with it. The next thing I have down is to connect with people. Sometimes when we are worried or stressed or anxious, we're building up scenarios in our head that don't even exist. But when you sit down with a friend and you say, look, I'm thinking these things, am I crazy? Is this actually happening, or why do I think this way? And you just sit down and have a cup of tea with a friend. They'll often turn around and tell you, don't be mad, like, you're fine. And just hearing it from somebody else sometimes just takes all that weight off. And a problem shared is really a problem halved. I know it's another silly cliche, but it really, really is. And one of the things that I find most therapeutic in life, and one of the things that makes me happiest in life, is being there for other people too. Being someone's friend and helping somebody else through a hard time, whether that is by making a vlog on YouTube about my depression and making other people feel braver to open up about theirs, or simply going to my friend's house and having a cup of tea with her because she had a bad day at work. Being there for somebody else really gets you out of your own head and makes you realize that everybody has problems in life, and that sometimes their problems are maybe worse than yours, or not that it's like a competition on who's better or worse, but when you feel sympathy and empathy for another person, it stops you worrying about yourself so much, and kind of like, oh wow, they're so stressed out and upset today. It makes me feel better, that we all have problems. And I just, you go home and you feel like being kind to that person has really brought me happiness. And whether it's a random act of kindness or it is going out of your way for a friend, being kind to other people, complimenting people, checking in on people, and just being a good friend will make you happier, because you will get that back. What you put out there in life, you will get that back tenfold. Not necessarily in something that you can see, but how you feel when you are kind to somebody, that itself is happiness. So be extra kind and you will be extra happy. The next thing I have down here is that a tidy house equals a tidy mind. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone. Some people prefer to work in a cluttered or messy space. That's totally up to you, each to their own. But for me, I find one of the ways that I can stay my most focused and positive and happy is when everything in my house is in its place. In particular, like all of my YouTube stuff and my makeup collection and my clothes and shoes and stuff. Not that, those are the important things in life, but I find giving everything a home and giving everything a place really just brings me so much like clarity and peace. And when everything is tidy, I just feel like I can breathe, I can think now that the place is tidy. I don't know what it is. I think I'm a very visual person. So if you're not a very visual person, maybe that kind of stuff doesn't matter. But I'm affected by what I see around me, very much so. And that's just part of my character. So if what I see around me pleases me, then I feel better on the inside. And that's not to say that you need to have expensive furniture or anything like that. It's just about order and cleanliness and just space, I guess. One of my favorite things to do if I'm having a terrible day is to put fresh sheets on the bed and wear a clean, fresh pair of pajamas and have a bath and put on those pajamas and get into my clean, fresh bed in my nice, tidy room. And I just feel better. I just feel happier because everything feels calm and right. I don't know why. I know it's another thing that probably sounds so silly, but it's true. Another thing that I think is so important in being happy is to figure out what makes you happy. A lot of us tend to gauge happiness on what makes other people happy. So for instance, over the last few years, I have decided that I don't really enjoy partying. I don't really enjoy clubbing or anything like that. I used to do a lot of it in my, early 20s and teens and stuff, but it was something that I did enjoy back then. But I always felt like doing that made me fun, and doing that made me a happy and fun and outgoing person. But these days, I much prefer going out to the cinema or going for like a stroll and going to the markets and going for a nice lunch or dinner with people, or maybe having like a glass of wine and a good long chat with a friend. Those things bring me so much more happiness. And I was in a situation the other day where it was a group of people my age talking about going out and drinking and clubbing and stuff like that. And somebody mentioned that they weren't going, and then somebody else said, "Oh, you're getting old." And I piped up and I said, "I don't see not wanting to go clubbing as old." And they were like, "Oh, well, we do." And I just thought, like, why is it that that is what is considered as fun? Because each of us experience fun in so many different things. You might find video games fun. I might find YouTube fun. Somebody else might find fitness fun. The same way some people enjoy clubbing, other people enjoy being at home and watching movies. Don't try and be happy based on what other people's idea of happiness is. If you want to be the CEO of one of the biggest companies in the world and that makes you happy, do it, but only do it because you want to do it. If you want to be a stay-at-home mum and rear 10 children and have 8 dogs, and that makes you happy, do it. Don't think you have to live up to other people's expectations of happiness. You create your own happiness. You're allowed to have your own likes and dislikes in this world, and you're allowed to do whatever you want to make yourself happy. And don't let anyone take that away from you. Once you find out what makes you happy and you take control of that and take ownership of that, nobody can take that away from you. Never feel under pressure to do what everyone else is doing. I promise you, it will just make you miserable. My next point is just to be kind to yourself. A lot of the time when people are feeling bad or you're feeling stressed, you feel the need to overachieve. You feel the need to fix the problem. But whatever happened, to just having a day? Sometimes you don't need to have a good day. You just need to get through the day. And there's nothing wrong with just getting up if you're in a really bad mood, getting up, showering, going to work, coming home, making dinner, and going to bed. There is nothing wrong with just taking care of your responsibilities and priorities, such as like your kids or your pets or your job, and doing nothing else for the day. There is no shame in coming home and just wanting to get into your pajamas and order a pizza and watch Netflix. That doesn't mean you're lazy. I don't advise doing that every single evening and putting on weight and isolating yourself. Of course not, I don't advise that. But what I mean is, if you have been on the go for a month and you've been going to occasions and birthdays and work and you've had deadlines and you've been trying to please everyone and look after your kids and do your homework or whatever it is, whatever age you are, sometimes it's okay to just come home and listen to some music, have a bath, get some pizza, go for a walk, whatever it is that brings you happiness. You don't have to overachieve every day in your life. Sometimes you just need to get by. Allow yourself to have a day where you just get by. Don't put the pressure on yourself to be amazing that day. That way you can wake up the next day refreshed and relaxed and ready to take on the world again. The next point I'm going to make is one of the most important points that I could make in any video. It's to not accept toxic people into your life. If somebody makes you unhappy, if somebody is bringing you down, you need to get rid of them out of your life. I know that sounds harsh, but you cannot deal with that kind of negativity in your life. If it's a family member and you cannot control that they're in your life, if you're very young and you live at home, or, obviously you don't want to cut your family out of your life. Sometimes we have to deal with our family when they're being difficult. Sometimes just distancing yourself from them is enough. Put boundaries in place and allow yourself to be able to say, this is what I'm comfortable with and this is what I'm not. And when you put up those boundaries, people will usually abide by them. But if you don't put boundaries in place for how people are in your life, you're opening yourself up to just a lot of stress and worry and people coming up into your personal space. But when it comes to friends, whether they've been in your life for 10 years or 10 weeks, if that person is constantly making you feel bad about yourself or criticizing you, and it's not constructive, and you don't feel like you can trust them, or you've grown apart, it's okay to let people go. Allow yourself to let people go and say, I'm not mad, I don't wish anything bad to happen to them, I wish them well, but I don't feel like I can have that person in my life. And sometimes having 5 amazing people in your life is so much better than 50 people who you're not really sure with where you stand. So try and surround yourself with people who accept you for who you are and love you exactly as you are, faults and all. And if none of that works and you're having an extra bad day, just go onto YouTube and look up that baby minion falling. You know, the little baby dressed as a minion falling down and then they go, I'm okay. Or maybe look at like pictures of kittens. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just want you guys to know that you are worthy of everything you desire in life. You are worthy of being happy. You deserve to be happy, and you need to choose to be happy and positive in your life and not let any negativity bring you down. And when you allow yourself to feel like you deserve to be happy, sometimes it's easier to let happiness in. So thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if this video was a bit serious or preachy or cheesy or anything like that. I promise I didn't mean it that way. But I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will see you again very, very soon.